I've been up here for 18 years. I've raised my children here. I have to go back to the office today and work, just like you do. My family's on vacation. I'll try to catch up with them later in the week, but that's just what this life is. I'm here to ask for your vote. I've always appreciated your vote. You know what? When I first ran 6 years ago, I won by 42 votes. I got in very late, so long. Seems like forever ago. And you know, I had these dreams and wishes of how we can help create policy, how we can work on water, what we can do about our roads, how we can take better care of our children's education. And the bottom fell out. Clearly, no one could argue that this hasn't been the worst economic times in Arizona since the Great Depression. No one could possibly argue that. Republican caucus has managed to keep this state afloat. We did the exact opposite of what California does. They're raising your taxes over there, we're cutting them over here. They're raising government over there, we're cutting it over here. We're growing jobs over here, and if you haven't heard, the #1 state in the country for business startups in the nation. Not just here, in the nation. We are in the top 10 as a percentage of job growth right now in the nation, every month, in the nation. And it wasn't 2 years ago we were dead last. Now, I'm not saying everything we do is perfect. You know, we got a lot of members down there who are good and decent, hardworking people. And I struggle sometimes, watching some of our Republican members take punches at others. You know, I know politics is this. I know this isn't a game for the weak at heart. But, you know, I would share with you that there was a comment made about Nancy Bartow, Senator Nancy Bartow. Nobody's working harder than Senator Nancy Bartow on eliminating exchanges. I mean, at what point in time does the purity end? At what point in time do we sit here and say, you know what? They're doing a dang good job. And if I miss one or two, that's okay, don't vote for me. But it's going to be hard to run to the right of someone like me who's been down there fighting your battles for you, as I promised I would. You know, I'm either not going to come back this time, but for sure 2 years from now, I'm one of those people that actually think term limits is a good idea. You know, but I'm going to tell you that I will, to my breath, continue to work as hard as I have, and will continue to work for the next 2 years if you give me the opportunity to do so. I have never missed a day at work. I have never missed a day on the floor in the House of Representatives for you. I have never missed a day. And we've had a lot of special sessions. And we're in a big fight. And no one's fought harder on the Independent Redistricting Commission than in fact, Senator Steve Pierce and I are the two who sued him. I mean, we're the two who have been pushing back on this all along. And I know it's been hard for you when you have leadership up here because we're required to be in a lot of parts of the state. But my home is right here. And my children go to school right here. And my wife shops right here. Gotta go check that card. But listen, thank you for, it has been an honor to serve. If I never served another day again, I'm okay with all that. Because it's been very honorable that you would entrust that opportunity to me. So I thank you, I continue to ask for your vote, and I appreciate you being here today. Thanks.
Thank you. I find it funny, a little ironic that we're sitting here today and one of my opponents is Lori, because when we were both elected freshmen 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I guess, Lori and I went to the first thing together, didn't know anybody, and she and I actually became pretty good friends because we didn't know anybody else. So that entire week, my husband and myself and she and her boyfriend actually spent a lot of time together, so this is kind of a weird for me. So let me take my friendship hat off and put my political hat off because I'm fighting for my job. And what I want to say is I'm very proud of the record I have done for you. I'm very proud of the bills that I've introduced. 90% of our platforms, the three of us, are the same. We are conservative Republicans. We all believe in the same thing. So I'm going to say it's at least 90%. But where do we differ? We do differ on a couple of things. And I'll tell you where I differ. First of all, when you say that I'm not conservative enough, First of all, I would like to say, if you look at the pachyderm schedule, the scores, and they're very conservative. The three of us are all within like 1 point of each other. So we're pretty even on that. The little thing that was put out on your table, I'm sorry that was put out by our opponent. I don't like dirty politics, but it brings up a difference. And here's the difference on it. The difference is that, first of all, they only gave the Senate points for some of the bills they liked. But because it never came to the House and was never voted on it, we didn't get points for that. So the paycheck protection, I never got a chance to vote on that, so I didn't get to earn any goodie points for it. So my score is lower because I didn't even have a chance to vote on a bill. I don't think that's fair to be graded that way. The second thing, and here's the biggest difference, the next thing is that I still believe in local control. I believe in our cities and towns. I believe that government is best left to local issues where it should be addressed. I believe in our planning and zoning commissions. I believe in our HOAs. I believe you as citizens of Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, Quad City area should have the right to say what goes on in your town and not the state to come in and tell you what to do. I don't like the feds doing it to Arizona, and I don't like the state of Arizona doing it to our cities and towns. Our job is to keep it in a check and balance to make sure councils don't cross that line. We need to keep elections clean. We need to keep everything on the up and up. But you, the voters, decide what is right for you in your backyard. The state of Arizona, the legislature should not be coming in. Consolidated elections, bad. It was good for a lot of municipalities in Phoenix because they were worried about a lot of things down there. But in rural Arizona, it's bad for us. It's going to cost us money, and it's going to cost us a lot of unintended consequences, and you can talk to any of our city council people, and they will tell you the same thing. Last but not least, I'm going to summarize this. I appreciate my opponent that says that she doesn't understand water and zoning, things like that, but she's a quick learner, and she is. But the difference is I've had 11 years plus 2 more in the state. I know our water up here. I know our issues up here. And I fought hard, and I'm going to keep fighting hard for it. Thank you.
Well, having said that, I truly want you to understand that my basic reason for running is to keep our conservative majority, stand up when we have to our governor, do what we need to do for our state. And I think that more than anything, what we all want is liberty and freedom. We are in a situation where we really have to fight for our liberty. Jefferson said that there needs to be a revolution every 20 years. I think we're over 200 years overdue. So I'm someone who won't back down. I've been a movement conservative. I'll have the backbone to have your back up here on your local issues and also on our state issues to defend your rights in all the different areas, education, our law enforcement. I was endorsed by them the last time. And I plan on really being a strong advocate for all of the things that we want to make this state great. And what differentiates me, I know that these scores, they would like to make them go away, but facts are a stubborn thing. And these scores that came out showing the difference in our voting record was just that. It was our voting record. I don't like some of the way the pachyderm scores, but there's a 5-point difference between us, not a 1. But the fact is that sometimes when we have bills coming out of the Senate or from a committee, and then all of a sudden we let it go out of the committee and then it goes on the floor. So there's different ways of scoring, but ultimately, these scores are done for a reason, so that people see where their legislators are on the big issues, the issues that we all care about. I know I'm new here because of the redistricting, but I do want you to know that I spent every summer here for the last 15 years. I have a place in Breezy Pines, and I will do my best, because first of all, we're all Americans. And we're all here to do what's right for our country and for our state and for our local places. And I'm absolutely accessible 100 times. I give my cell phone as well as my home address and everything. So I'm here if you have questions, if you want to know. And keep in mind, there's 3 of us running, you have 2 votes. So I hope to win your confidence, I hope to win your vote, and I hope to be your next representative. Thank you.
So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell what you're running for.
Hi, I'm currently State Senator Lori Klein in District Number 6. I'm running for the House here in the new District Number 1, which I'm now part of. So I'm running for one of the House seats. I am a conservative Republican. I've got the highest scores in our state legislature, and I'm giving you a choice to vote for a solid conservative.
Okay, and you live in Anthem right now.
I live in Anthem, that's correct.
And how's the campaign going?
The campaign's going great. I'm getting out and meeting a lot of wonderful people here. I have a cabin here. I've had one for 15 years. So I'm no stranger to Prescott. So in a way, I'm really happy the weather is cooler, and we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So I really want your vote, and I hope that you consider me for the House.
Well, it's going very well. I mean, part of the problem when you're Speaker of the House, besides the big district that we have, campaigning down in Anthem and Carefree and Cape Creek's been going very well. Of course, campaigning up in Yavapai County has always gone very well for me. But as Speaker, I have a lot of other. Like I was in Coolidge the other night. I had to go to Buckeye. I'd been down to Yuma. Got to go to Tucson. Because you're trying. You have a large responsibility for members all over the state. So it's been trying, making sure I have. But I've never missed a debate. I've never missed a forum, and I don't ever want to miss one. So I'm hoping we continue to have my energy up.
So what do you think the biggest issue is in this campaign?
Well, as far as I think really it boils down to experience and performance. And what you have is you have 2 folks up here. Yavapai County makes up 70% of the district. I think it's important for rural legislators to continue to serve down there because the Independent Redistricting Commission has hurt that representation. So I think it's very important for our local communities to understand that folks who live here and work with them need to vote with them. And by the way, down in Anthem and Carefree and Cape Creek, they feel a lot of what we feel. They're not the big community of Maricopa, though it's in Maricopa County. They're not the city of Phoenix, so they have a lot of sensitivity to the same small town issues that we do, whether it has to do with tourism or hospitals or a road. So I think we're going quite well.
Okay, you took a little heat on the consolidated elections.
Yeah, our city council members didn't like that. Mayors mostly didn't like that. I felt at the end of the day, voters that I spoke to liked it more than I guess some of the electeds did. But here's where it ended. It ended when I was sure that it would mean more people would be voting in those elections. And I think that's where I drew the line. At the end of the day, our job is to make sure more people get to elections. And I recognize that we overlap, where you have state and municipal interaction. But in my view, if we're sending more people to the polls, that's a good thing. And that's why I supported it.
Okay, but it's my understanding you don't support the open election, open government bill.
That's a horrible. That's the same. Let me fix the election process crowd that has screwed up our state with clean elections, with the Independent Redistricting Commission that has now cost rural Arizona. These are the same people. They keep not liking the legislature that Arizona citizens have elected. So they try to reshuffle the deck with new rules. And that's all this is. And now what they're doing is they're taking the election process we're used to and defining it differently. Having Arizona look like Louisiana, where you can elect somebody like David Duke, is a big mistake. And I think the press needs to get on board and find out exactly what pieces this does to our statewide elections. It is horrible.
Well, and actually it will reduce the number of candidates who can be represented, especially in the general election.
Well, it reduces parties. You're never going to see a Green Party or Libertarian get in. How would they ever get into the process? So clearly this is big government people who are trying to control elections because they don't like the way it's going. So they've got a lot of money behind them, and they're going to try to fool Arizonans once again, and I hope they don't stand for it.
Okay, Ken Bennett removes the extension of the sales tax. due to, it was a technical reason, but a legitimate reason on the...
Well, it wasn't just so technical, it was horrible. I mean, they had a paragraph that was missing. That was a lot of money. This isn't like they didn't dot an I or didn't cross a T. They messed up on this process, and that's like in Proposition 101. You know, I shouldn't say that, but that's in Class 101, how to do propositions. Every other single proposition that's gone out there has not made this mistake. So you got to do the math. This is not Ken Bennett's fault. This is the fault of the people who obviously wrote this thing poorly, didn't follow through on what it should have been, and didn't follow up how they submitted it. This is on them. This is not on Ken Bennett.
I am Karen Fan. I am a current state representative from LD1, your representative, and I'm running for re-election again for my second term. I'm hoping that everybody will continue to support me like they did before, and we're going to keep this state moving forward.
What are some of the big issues that you want to work on in the next term?
My top agenda is still economic development and jobs. We've made huge inroads, but we got a ways to go. So let's get people back to work. Let's get people paying those taxes again, and that's going to bring in the money to pay for school and infrastructure and all those other things that we need.
Okay. And how's the campaign going?
It's going great. It's going very, very, very well. A lot of support out there. I received 4 Legislative of the Year awards this year in my freshman year. So obviously, I guess I'm doing something right.
So, well, congratulations. And your district has kind of expanded in geography anyway. Right?
It has changed. You know, they took away the Verde Valley in the northern part, and in exchange, we now have Anthem, Cave Creek, Carefree, Maricopa, Black Canyon City, and then over there on Yarnell and Baghdad and that area there. So, yeah, we got a little shifted there. And then, of course, our Quad City area.
So you're meeting new people, and that's kind of fun, probably.
Meeting a lot of new people, but the good thing is like the Cave Creek Council, the Carefree Council, a lot of them I knew because of my 11 years being a mayor and council person here, so some I've met. So on that note, it's really good. It's people that there are a few that I already knew.
So, okay, anything you want to add?
No, just I hope everybody continues to support me, and we're on the right track. Let's keep it that way.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.